Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. Hope you're having a great day out there. This is and this is our show. Hi, guys. I would have been here a couple minutes ago, but I was talking with Satsu. He called me up and asked me what I was doing. I'm like, I'm getting ready to stream. And I honestly thought about canceling it when he told me why he was calling. The Fun Pimps are having a demonstration over on Twitch of Alpha 21. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a video game. It's 7 Days to Die. You guys have heard me talk about that many, many times. They're doing a gameplay over there. So, oh gosh. So hopefully we'll have some new updates on that. I was asked about it on the show last night when I think it's coming out. No idea, but maybe we're going to get an update on when it's coming. So that'll be awesome. Hopefully we'll get some news on when Alpha 21's coming out. Anyway, but that's not what we're here for tonight. Tonight, we're here to talk about news and events and things that amuse me. We should talk about this real quick. If you're on Twitter right now, Twitter's having a problem where you can't respond to people. You can retweet them. You can write your own tweet, but you can't respond to people. And when it first happened, I was the only person I knew it was happening to. So I just assumed I'd got in trouble again. How fucked up is it that was my immediate thing? Like, oh my God, what did I say this time? Should we be that way as adults? Should we be that way as adults out there being like, oh my God, did I upset the school marms again? But that's where we are as a society, right? On social media, if you get just a little bit out of the ordinary, they're like, oh my God. Have you guys seen what's going on with Rumble? We're on Rumble right now. Hi, Rumble folks. Rumble has started signing some pretty big names. And I'm not talking about Crowder. People like, how do you say it? Dijon? Is that how you say his name? Jidon? I forget. Some rapper as well. They're signing some pretty decent sized folks out there who going over to Rumble to make their money. And why? Is it because they're all right-wing racist? No, it's because you can actually speak and not have to fucking worry that mom and dad are going to come down and slap your hand and tell you can't say that anymore. It's only broken on the web. Mobile still allows replies. That would explain why I can still see replies. Yes, it is definitely broken over there on Twitter right now. Isn't it weird, though? Isn't it weird that we have to be that way? Like we have teachers in our lives all the time. You know, I didn't realize saying pissed off was considered all that bad until I said it in class one day. And that's how I feel every time I go onto social media and I get slapped for saying something that to me is just funny. Like, no, you can't say those words. And that's why I do appreciate somebody like Twitch, or sorry, not Twitch, fuck Twitch, like Rumble, where you're allowed to have a little bit more freedom there. You're not going to be able to say everything. That's never going to be a thing, guys. But I shouldn't be, because I didn't say anything all that bad in the last few days. I've insulted a few people, but my first thought should have been, oh my God, this is broken. Not, oh my God, did I get in trouble again? All right. Anyway, I'm done with that. Let's talk about the world. On due to that weird hospital visit he had that totally wasn't a stroke shortly after he was sworn into office. No, it was totally depression related. I'm sorry. Does anybody believe that shit? Thank you so much. Better to be pissed off than pissed on. That's what my dad always said. Thank you so much for the donation. I monkey ducked out. It happens from time to time. I'm sorry, guys. Just let me know when it happens, and I'll try to backtrack and say whatever it was I said. It's my internet, and I have nothing that can fix it, unfortunately. But wait, what was that? Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, I got a notice on my phone. John Fetterman's out of the hospital. Does anybody believe that this man was actually in the hospital for depression? Give me a 1 if you think he was actually in there because he was depressed. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I don't believe it. And I say that based on the fact that he had the major stroke during the campaign. Then there's this weird moment where he has this almost passing out thing, so he runs to the hospital. He goes to the hospital, like, oh no, it was he ate Cheerios for breakfast and he had too many, or whatever stupid shit they came up with. What's up, Jack? How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Living the dream, my friend. Living the dream.
Nice.
Talking about John Fetterman being out of the hospital.
My name is John Fetterman.
So he's out of the hospital, and again, I don't believe that he went in for depression. I just don't. I think it was stroke recovery. I think he had a second stroke, and I think they were hiding him.
Yeah, I do too.
John Migda, thank you so much, who says it's a body double. I don't think it's a body double. I think it's actually him. It'd be really hard to find somebody who looked as retarded as he does. But here's the thing. Not only is he getting out of the hospital, Jack, he announced that he will be chairing his first subcommittee on food stamps and something to do with Pennsylvania.
I'm trying not to laugh at that.
Am I the only one who's like, wait a minute, this guy is a first-term senator. Even if he hadn't spent most of his time as a senator in the hospital, that would only mean he's a senator for 3 months. Why in the fuck is he chairing a subcommittee?
Because he is now a higher up on the progressive stack than other freshmen because he's disabled.
I suppose so.
Remember, he's got to read everything off a teleprompter.
See, no, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't. I think it has to do with the fact that he beat Trump's candidate.
Yeah, but I mean, you beat a carpetbagger. I mean, that's not that impressive.
No, I agree with you, but in progressive stacks, that's pretty big.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's disabled. He beat the carpetbagger Oz, and he looks like Lurch from the Addams Family.
Is it Rumble or Monkey? I don't want to go to YouTube. If you're talking about any dips and stuff, it's probably me. It just for some reason has been happening lately more than it was, and I don't know how to fix it. So we're just gonna keep pushing on. One of these days, Jack. One of these days, I'll get good internet, reliable, good internet.
Yeah, it happens.
Joe Biden told me he was spending billions of dollars on it.
Yeah, in Ukraine.
Yeah, to bring it to rural America. Did you see this dumb motherfuckers over in Ireland tending bar?
Yep.
Our president, the president of the United States, is over in Ireland tending bar. I get it. He's trying to make himself look a little, I guess, personable. Fine. You are the president of the United States. What the fuck are you doing? That's the kind of shit a TV celebrity does when they go over there. Not the president, not the leader of the free fucking world.
Yeah, it makes him relatable because he's Joe from Scranton.
From Scranton. Just like my dad used to do. I'm tending bar in Ireland because I'm an Irish. He's an Irish Puerto Rican black man.
Yes. Well, he's politically Puerto Rican. And remember, his dad was like, Joey, love is love.
Love is love. That's what his dad told him when he was in high school and he saw two grown men kissing in public in Scranton or wherever the hell he claims to have been at that time. Could our president stop lying?
No.
They went after Trump over and over and over again for lying. And in the cases where he really was lying, great. They won't even touch Biden lying. Unacceptable View says he never saw that. He absolutely never saw that.
No. Especially because it would have been, what, the 40s or 50s? Where sodomy crimes were mostly just aimed at the gays.
Yeah, and were still punishable. And people actually pursued them.
Yeah, and you could get put in a mental institution for too much jerking off.
But he saw two grown men kissing in public, and his dad like, love is love.
Yeah, that totally never happened.
Shit never happened. Not once, ever.
I grew up around a lot of old people that were of that generation. That would have been his, because my great uncles and aunts and shit. And there's no fucking way they're all would have been super homophobic, almost as
Dude.
much as they were racist.
Even if you just go back to the 80s,
Yeah.
unless you're in a very progressive city like San Francisco, that shit did not happen. Period. Yeah, but he's our liar in chief, so fuck it.
Real quick, I got two things here.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to read the second one first. Hey, you guys! Thank you, John Fetterman. And also, thank you, John Fetterman. I am now out of the hospital that was for what was definitely depression. On an unrelated note, I will now be heading to the Senate subcommittee on drooling fucking retards. Hey, you guys! Thank you, John Fetterman.
Oh, I can't believe they're letting this guy's chairs. He doesn't. He can't even know how to do it yet.
No, and he's probably still not recovered enough to be doing that.
Has he even sat on a committee yet?
I doubt it. I mean, he might have in Pennsylvania. He was like the lieutenant governor or whatever.
I mean, I suppose so, but Jesus Christ.
You know what's a great way to give him another stroke? Lots of stress from not knowing what the fuck he's supposed to do.
That's all right. That's all right. He'll have somebody there telling him. He'll have a parliamentarian close. I guarantee it. I just don't understand why this is happening. I don't get it. I know he beat Donald Trump's candidate of Dr. Oz. Yay, go. How long was he in the hospital? That's been since March, right?
Yeah, it was probably February.
So he gets sworn in early January. They didn't really go into session and do anything. And then he has to leave for his totally depression motives.
Totally depression.
Totally depression. Where, by the way, while he was still in the hospital, he co-authored his first bill. That's a true thing. And he comes out and they immediately give him a leadership kind of position. Now, look, in these subcommittees, they're not as important as the main committees and certainly not as important as the full House or full Senate in this case. But give it to the guy who's only even been there. Even if he had been there less than 3 months, just because he beat Trump's guy? And nobody on the left is asking questions about why. You don't have anybody else in the Senate who could ask about this. Who's the senior senator from Pennsylvania?
I have no idea.
Somebody from Pennsylvania. Who is that? If I'm them, I'm incredibly annoyed right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's supposed to be on SNAP. For those who don't know what SNAP is, that's food stamps. And John Fetterman's going to be out there looking out for your SNAP benefits, guys. So good luck in the future. Speaking of good luck in the future, Jack, we got some good news for a change.
Oh, yeah?
The inflation numbers came out today. They're down to 5%.
Right. What they take out of factoring in?
As far as I saw, nothing. But here's the thing: that 5% is on top of the 8.3 that it was last year at this time.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They make it. They actually said this in the article: down to the lowest it's been in 2 years. Do you remember who was president 2 years ago in April 2021? Anybody?
No, and he doesn't either.
Compound inflation, exactly, Faithless. So I forget who it was, but on Twitter, somebody put it in such a wonderful way that I want to repeat it. Naughty Maximus, thank you so much. It's Bob Casey Jr. out there in Pennsylvania as the senior senator. Thank you for that. Describing how inflation works, he said it was like, or this headline that the lowest it's been, it's down to 5%, down from 6% last month, the lowest it's been in 2 years. He said that's like saying, Bob only gained 40 pounds this year compared to the 60 pounds he gained last year.
Yeah, it's a decline, clearly.
It is, yeah. He's much healthier now. Pay no attention to the fact he's 100 pounds heavier than he was 2 years ago. They're trying to dress up this shit sandwich, and there's not enough pickle and mayo in the world to make it taste good.
No. Look, I just went grocery shopping, spent my last $20, walked out with one bag.
Yep.
I got like lunch meat and bread and some cheese, and that was like over $10 right there. I was like, are you fucking shitting me? I buy everything on sale. I was pissed.
Don't worry. It's coming down, Jack. Biden's on top of it. He's going to go to Ireland and 10 bar, and that's going to make it come down.
Yeah, and then he's going to start shit with the Russians because why not?
Yeah,
it's bad enough the Chinese are flexing all over the place.
Get a little bit more inflation going, causing gas prices and stuff to spike again.
Did we talk about the Saudis talking about going off the petrodollar?
We've discussed it a little bit here and there, but when that main story dropped, I don't think we discussed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're talking about coming off the dollar, which would severely impact the U.S. economy. Right now, everybody trades their, except for Russia, because they're not allowed to. Everybody trades their oil in dollar bills.
Yeah, Egypt is switching. Who else was it? China is paying the Russians in yuan. Somebody else was just joining in. France wants to go to yuan as well because they're a bunch of backstabbing little cunts. Oh shit.
That's all right, dude. I said cunt yesterday. We're fine.
But no, what are the other countries that Saudi Arabia is talking about? Oh, Iran. They're going with rubles. So
wait, they're going with rubles?
Yeah, that's the last I heard.
Wow. I mean, it's probably the cheapest way to go right now. But yeah, this will have an impact on the value of the dollar. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, oil's only a small part of demand for dollars. Petrodollars overrated. I disagree with you. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Because Colombia and Brazil have both been talking about switching to yuan or a new currency. So a lot of South America might be doing that too if they do it because they're kind of the leaders down that way.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Dore's gleeful it might end the American empire. Lots of liberals will be, because that's been on their agenda, God, at least since I've been born.
Yes, but what they don't understand is that this is better than everywhere else. No offense, Aussies, you guys are pretty cool, but I've seen your lockdowns. And they're going to really have a problem with the lowered standard of living.
Hey, BX Beast Boy, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, Beast Boy.
When I said that about them, this isn't something they've been shy about. This isn't like when we call them communists and they were closet commies until Bernie comes out, right? There have been people my entire life who've been like, America shouldn't be the top dog. It really should be a worldwide kind of thing. So it's not even like they've hit it. It's what they want. So we'll see what happens with it. You know what, Jack? This is how we end up in a war. This is really how we end up in a war, because you end up fucking with people's economies.
Yep. War has been fought over resources since the beginning of civilization.
JBS, why do these idiots hate American empire so much? First of all, we don't have an American empire. But second, they feel guilty about being prosperous.
Yeah. It's mostly self-loathing.
Not guilty enough to ever fucking leave.
Oh, God, no.
No, hell no. We need to lower our standard of living so that they can, live like peasants here. Speaking of which, Jack, I think this is a good time to bring up Anna Kasparian. We will get to Rebekah Jones, guys. I know it's in the title. We'll get to her in a couple of minutes, but did you see the TYT clip that was going around today?
Nope.
All right. This is Anna. She's a little mad. She's a little mad. And actual justice warrior, I'm sorry, dude, you got this one wrong. A lot of people are getting this one wrong because they think Anna's actually coming to her senses. But she's not. She's doing let's watch it and see if you can pinpoint what I'm talking about.
way that it happens is, I know that in California, at least, with the phasing out of gas-powered cars, and they'll probably do the same thing with gas stoves, is...
Remember, we're told they're not doing this kind of stuff with gas stoves. That's not happening. That's a Republican talking point.
Except for that legislation in New York. Just ignore that.
And the ones coming to California.
They just ban the sale of any new gas-powered cars or any new gas stoves. And so the technology that you have in your home, the gas stove that you have in your home, if it breaks, not only are you not able to buy a new one, but it gets increasingly more difficult to just repair it. You get what I'm saying?
Now, at this point, it sounds like she's fine. It sounds like she's catching on. Almost.
She's close, but no cigar.
And so, like,
I get it, but that's a bump. That's the normal bumps in the road, as you
normal bumps in the road. You fat retard.
you transition to things.
I know, but Cenk, like, don't minimize the financial burdens associated with these things, okay?
No, I'm not.
Like,
well, he doesn't have a financial burden. YouTube gave him $20 million. Remember, he owns TYT. They gave TYT $20 million. He's not making your slave wages, Anna.
Yeah, well, like most elites, Cenk doesn't give a fuck about poor people. Because
At
those
all.
are the bumps in the road.
No, poor people are just another tool to be used.
Mm-hmm. Bumps in the road.
Yeah, they don't give a flying fuck. But anyway.
I am literally freaking the fuck out about the charging station thing. I'm like, it's gonna cost, we're gonna take out a massive fucking loan to pay for it.
I don't remember if she goes into it in here, but what she's talking about, Jack, is the building she lives in. They're putting in charging stations, and the people who live in the building are going to have to pay for putting in those charging stations.
Of course.
We're not getting any help from the fucking government on that.
Did you guys ask? Is there any tax credits? No, but seriously,
did you see that is a comedy for you right there? Did you ask her pay? Now look, I'm sure Anna's well compensated. She probably makes a lot more than you and I do, Jack.
Well, that won't be real hard.
She doesn't make Cenk's money though. She is an employee, not a partner.
Seriously, there's no government help at all to transition
I don't
you guys?
give a fuck about tax credits.
No, I'm saying for the HOA. Like,
no, there's been no talk of tax credits. I haven't seen anything about.
Yep.
What an idiot.
About tax credits, I should look into it. Maybe there are tax credits, but I don't give a fuck about tax credits because you have to shell out cash. Okay, like I want to do something in response to climate change. That is not my issue here. My issue is how, like, we're forced to make all these changes that are a financial burden, a giant inconvenience with like little to no help. And the solution from the government in terms of like, no, you get financial benefits for doing this is fucking tax credits. No, I don't want the tax credits. Give me the money.
There it is. I wanted to point that part out, Jack, because it does, until that part, it seems like she's getting it.
Yeah.
And then she does it. It's not that she's against this stuff. It's not that she's against somebody paying for this stuff.
She just doesn't want it to be her paying for it.
It should come from the government. The government should take care of that for her.
Everybody else should take care of my problems. To the woman.
Look, I want this stuff, but I'm not paying for it. She didn't come to her senses. This is normal commie crap.
Yeah.
They're always for the change and somebody else paying for it, for fuck's sake. That's what annoyed me about a lot of people that I saw talking about. They're like, oh, Anna's coming to her senses. No, she's not. How is this different than any of the other shit? They always want somebody else to pay for it. This is why we need the billionaire surtax, Jack.
Oh, yeah. Somebody else's money.
Yeah.
Give me the money, okay? Don't tell me this bullshit about how I have to buy like some new fucking thing because the government's forcing me to do it. And then like after I file my taxes, there's a certain portion of that purchase that might be tax deductible. Like, fuck off.
I agree with you on that, sweetheart. But the other part is don't force me to do it. See, this is what she does. She missed that part. Don't force me to do it. Don't force me to do it. And then there's no problem at all.
No, she has no problem forcing people to do it.
Nope, not at all. It's the same shit. It's just dressed up a little bit. She is not coming to her senses, guys. She's not. She's still the stupid little commie that she is. She might be right on the woman thing. And again, that's about as smart as she can be, is I am actually a woman.
Broken clocks.
Broken clock, yeah. And
or in this case, busted looks.
this shit, oh God. The entitlement. Give me the money. It's a charging station in your fucking building. Why do I need to pay for that?
But she doesn't want to. That's not fair, monkey.
True. Geraldo was talking about getting an EV Bentley and saying they're worth it. That sounds like him.
Yeah, well, he still owes me at least 2 hours back for Al Capone's vault, so he can suck my balls.
Absolutely. Fuck that guy. And his horrible little porn mustache.
Yeah.
So I want to keep watching her freak out because it's funny to me.
She's a little spurred. That's why.
Sick of it. It's just like endless pressure.
Who's putting that pressure on? Who?
Her biological clock.
Well, there's that pressure. That's a different pressure.
Oh, you weren't very specific, so
I can't take it.
Yeah, I hear you. And we ask too much of the middle class. We ask too much of the average person.
The middle class is the most fucked group of people in this country.
No, I hear you on all that. But at some point, we got to go to electric cars.
Look, I get it. They're fucked over, but we gotta fuck them over more.
Yeah, well, that just means the poor people are going to get fucked over the most. That nobody ever wants to talk about the poor because everybody wants to think they're middle class.
Well, for the poor, they will pay for it for the poor. My governor all day today has been bragging about how we're putting in charging stations here in Michigan. You can't drive on our fucking roads because they're so shit, but we're going to have charging stations for your electric vehicle.
Yeah, but poor people can't afford electric cars. They're still cost prohibitive.
Oh, dude. Do you think there's not going to be a government program to give them to poor people?
I think they're going to try and force more poor people to use public transit.
Well, there's that too. All right.
We don't have a choice. Like the planet's burning, so we got to.
The planet is burning.
Yes, and it's not going to help to put more pressure on the grid, which is going to burn a lot more coal and put a lot more CO2 in the air. Dummies.
Anna is about to make a really good point. And I know that sounds like a oxymoron, Anna and good point together, but again, she almost gets it.
Go to electric cars. So when California says, hey, let's go to electric cars by whatever the number is, 2025, et cetera. Yeah, it's going to be tough. But
yeah, and
at the same time, now prices are coming down, right?
Okay, but Jake, let's not minimize the cost of like actually charging those cars, right? Because here's the other thing. So Gavin Newsom pushes for and succeeds in passing legislation in California that would ban the sale of electric cars at a certain.
She meant gas-powered cars right there, just for the record.
Year, I think it is 2025 if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not, maybe it's 2035. I don't remember the exact year, but eventually, pretty soon, you're no longer gonna be able to buy a gas-powered car in California. Literally like that same month, Gavin Newsom's like, oh, there's a heat wave, energy grid really can't handle it. And so I'm just gonna ask you guys, if you have electric vehicles, please don't charge them right now. It's just.
That's a real thing that happened.
Yep, we talked about that, I believe.
We did, we absolutely did. So I'm glad to see Anna's been watching the show. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Go back to your original nose, it was cuter. We don't have the power grid for all of these electric cars.
No, not to mention if you own an electric car, your electric bill is going to fucking skyrocket. And you're not going to be able to go very far. The charge doesn't last that long. You're going to go, 200 miles? Come on.
Well, that's another thing. I'm very curious about that because typically in cold weather, batteries don't do well.
Oh,
how do
absolutely
electric
true.
vehicle batteries do in like Michigan?
Yeah.
So we're going to have all of this strain put on already strained electrical grids.
Yeah. Our grid's very outdated and it can't handle this much more usage. And it's going to drive prices way up for electricity.
And on top of that, we don't have the green energy to run that grid.
Nope.
We're running it on coal and natural gas,
which they don't want us to dig for anymore.
At last I heard, the estimate is you have to drive an EV 60,000 miles to equal out the pollution that making a gas-powered car and going 60,000 miles is. All of the stuff that goes into building an EV, you have to drive that thing 60,000 miles before you're suddenly carbon neutral.
Yeah, but then you've got a lot of extras on top of that because people are like, I'm saving the earth, so I'm going to drive more.
Oh yeah,
and use more power.
And I think we've been over the global warming stuff enough that I don't have to repeat what a bunch of bullshit it is. I love that it's going to change 4/10 of a degree. That's going to just change all of the weather on the earth. No. Plus, several people have mentioned it in chat. You're talking about all of the mining, the strip mining they're doing.
Yeah.
And nickel's another one that doesn't get talked about very much, but it's not an easy thing to be digging up.
Yeah, well, there was an article that came out that part of Biden's mandate would actually benefit China the most because they control most of those rare earth minerals, and it would put a lot of money in their pockets because they're the one making these batteries, mining for all this stuff. They're making money hand over fist. And Retro's right. What's Alaska gonna do? Because it's really cold up there. There's no fucking way electric vehicles are going to function in Alaska.
Frank, thanks so much. To be fair, the government is forcing it on them and making them pay the companies for it. I can see on that situation saying, no, you pay. Well, hang on. I'll get back to that point. I'm going to finish reading this. Still prefer saying it's up to the buyer and the buyer pays. They're horrible in winter, a lot less miles per charge. All right. Here's the problem with saying, hey, you're telling me I have to do it, so you pay. She's in favor of them telling you have to do it. She's not in favor, or she's not against them telling you have to do it. She's upset that when she tells them that they have to tell her to do it, that she has to pay for it.
Yeah.
This is a liberal thing. It's a politician thing. I wish I could remember the exact thing, but there was one time where Republicans wanted to do something that would have been beneficial to us. Something like getting rid of corruption in government. I should look it up. But they asked Nancy Pelosi about it. You know what she said? When they do it, then I will.
Wow.
Yeah. We saw this AOC with her when she's running for Congress. Her office is less than 200 feet from a subway tunnel. But instead of using that, she used Lyft and Uber to get everywhere. Instead of making her own coffee, she's running around with her plastic Starbucks cups with her ice in it. So you can see that I'm a latte drinker. And they ask him about it, and they're like, well, this is the society we live in.
Yeah.
They never want to live by it themselves.
No,
they
want it sophisticated.
No, see, they're okay with living by those rules, but only once it's been forced on everybody else.
I think they're going to want to be the nobles and have special rules, special exemptions, because some animals are more equal than others.
I think that's true for some of them. I don't think that would be true for somebody like Anna. I think that would be true for definitely somebody like AOC. I just could not walk to that Subway. You know, it might have been that she was too stupid and she thought that was a Subway sandwich shop. And, you know, she needed to get downtown, so going to Subway wouldn't work. Because she is a retard, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that they have in theory, Jack. In theory, it's not that they have a problem with being forced to do that. Like Anna, she's not opposed to being forced to getting an electric vehicle. No. She just doesn't want to pay for it. She's fine with everybody being forced to do it. She just don't want to pay for it.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. To quote the poet William Joel, it was always burning since the world's been turning.
That's true.
And that's a car battery right there. I'm pretty sure. Because electric cars, when they catch on fire, man, fire departments are not prepared for that shit.
Cortez could have taken the train to DC, but she preferred to fly. That bitch ain't taking no train. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. She's not one of the little people. And her excuse that this is the world we live in. Live what you say. Be the change you want to see. That's a very old saying, Jack. And very people actually do it. They want to force it on everybody before they're willing to do it themselves. And fuck them. I just thought it was funny that Anna was actually getting props for this. Like, did you catch that she's still just a dummy bitch? It's not like she totally changed her mind and realized it's wrong for the government to be forcing this shit on people. Alyssa Milano traded Elsa for a Nazi BMW. Of course she did, because Elon Musk bought Twitter, which, by the way, one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
These people are massive hypocrites, so they don't have a problem being hypocrites. They have a problem being exposed as hypocrites.
Now, I have a lot of stuff, and I'm going to be jumping back and forth. I know you guys can't see it on my timeline, but so it might take me a couple moments to get to stories and stuff that we're going to do. You know how it is. But this one, we're going to go ahead and do the other part of the title, Jack, because this one Rebekah Jones, she's been talked about here a decent amount. We haven't covered like every stupid thing she did. Just recently, her son was arrested for making terroristic threats to a school.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just bring up this article because it is fucking wonderful. I love this train wreck of a woman. DeSantis critic embraced by progressives created fake news site to promote herself.
Hold on, let me be shocked by that.
Rebekah Jones denies involvement, but corporate record shows she founded Media.org in November.
Wow, what an original name.
Rebekah Jones, the fired Florida Health Department official who has been embraced by many in the media for her criticism of Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, is behind a mysterious local Florida news outlet that hailed her as an international hero.
It's kind of brilliant, really, because it's like guerrilla marketing. You put enough keywords in there, and it's going to get picked up by other media sites.
Oh, sure. But you would think they would do a little bit. No, okay, never mind. I was going to say they'd do a little bit of research, but we know better.
Do a journalism? You've been smoking weed?
Hailed her as an international hero and attacked the Florida state attorney who prosecuted Jones in a hacking case, according to corporate records reviewed by the Washington Free Beacon. The website, My Northwest Florida, has published just a handful of articles since it launched last year, including a lengthy investigative story that accused state prosecutors of forging Jones's signature on a plea agreement in which she admitted to guilt in December.
Whoopsie.
Corporate records indicate that Jones herself founded the media organization late last year.
Jones, think she would have got some like college kid to write a bunch of articles that had nothing to do with her to help mask that?
No, because she's not that smart.
Yeah, clearly.
Jones, who's repeatedly promoted the article to her 418,000 Twitter followers, hasn't disclosed any role in the news outlet. She denied it was her website in a phone call with the Free Beacon this week. Quote, no, my website is misinformational.com, she told the Free Beacon, referring to another group she runs that seeks to combat disinformation. When asked about the corporate records, Jones hung up. She did not call back and didn't respond to subsequent calls and a written request for comment. Shocking. Frosted, thank you. I was voted biggest penis by Frosted Glass Weekly. Oh, that's congratulations, my friend. Congratulations.
It's always nice to get an award. I hope you buy yourself a lovely little trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
6 to 8 inches high.
The news that's the rest. The rest of the article just talks about what a fucking train wreck she is in general.
That doesn't sound like it's that difficult.
She got busted sock puppeting herself because she was too dumb to, use some kind of proxy. And this is the woman that they're still hailing. She's been busted. She is a liar. They know she's a liar, and they still hail this woman as some kind of, international hero, Jack.
Well, you remember that, what's her name? Katie Hill? They got busted, like, fooling around in a three-way.
Oh, yeah. Former Congresswoman Katie Hill.
Yeah, they celebrated her too for a long time. These people are useful puppets till they're not, and then they just get tossed aside. Once her usefulness is over, she'll be thrown aside with the others.
Well, Katie's still around and she pops up from time to time. I can't follow her on Twitter anymore because she blocked me for pointing out she's a dirty whore. But she is a great example because the stuff that she did with her interns and her campaign workers is the kind of stuff that Me Too got people, fired over.
Yeah.
Dangerous brings up Michael Avenatti. The thing with Avenatti is they all did drop him like a hot potato. Yeah,
they stopped being useful.
But it's not like this with Rebekah where we know she's a dirty fucking liar and they keep pumping her up anyway.
Yeah. She sounds a lot like the George Santos of their party.
She kind of is, and she's building a social reputation off of what was nonsense to begin with, and just on DeSantis hate. She's kind of the Krasensteins of Florida. It doesn't have to be real or anything. She just says it and people come running.
The Krasensteins of Florida sounds like a knockoff discount version of the Beverly Hillbillies.
I think they actually are from Florida. I can't remember.
That would explain quite a lot.
Oh, man. AOC had enough trains on her. That's probably true, but I have no verification of that. So, yeah, this fucking idiot got busted. And I love that. I don't own that. And they're like, what about the corporate records? And they hung up. In that article, which I did throw in the chat for you guys, it goes through the corporate records and explains that, yeah, she incorporated the fucking thing. Huh. So
how dare you do journalism on me?
All right, let's see. Where are we? This one's kind of related to the Anna Kasparian thing. You know who Hugh Hewitt is?
I know that name.
I don't know how he ever got to be a radio show host, but that's how I know him, as a radio show host.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard of him. I don't know much beyond like name recognition.
I used to listen to him at the shop because we were allowed to listen to radios if we were doing sorting work.
Yeah.
And
he's a right winger, right?
Yeah. And his show was what was on at the time. So he tweets this out, and there in very concise form, New York Times conveys the essence of why the proposed rule should not be able to survive, since SCOTUS ruled 6-3 in West Virginia versus EPA. Massive grabs of power by the administration is divorced from anything resembling congressional direction is prohibited. I just don't trust our court that much. I have more faith in him than you do, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't trust him enough on something like this. And this is what he's referring to. The EPA cannot mandate that car makers sell a certain number of electric vehicles. But under the Clean Air Act, the agency can limit the pollution generated by the total number of cars each manufacturer sells. That's a dirty little way of backdooring it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's
And
just like the government to fuck you in the ass, though.
And the agency has set that limit so tightly that the only way manufacturers can comply is to sell a certain percentage of zero-emission vehicles. This is what the Biden administration is trying to do with the EPA and forcing electric vehicles on all of you the way that California is doing it. They're going to make it so that, okay, look, we can't tell you can't make that kind of car. But you can only have so many pounds of pollution per your entire fleet of cars that you sell. So now we're gonna keep that tightly controlled, so that the only way that car manufacturers can do anything is to only make electric vehicles. Good luck with your snowplows out there for those of you who live in places like I do.
Can they? If I was a car manufacturer, could I go build a carbon exchange and buy carbon credits to offset it and just be like money laundering?
I mean, there are Elon Musk has done this with some of his companies where they trade carbon credits.
Yeah, but if you build the network yourself, then you're giving yourself money. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. Kind of. It would depend on how it was done. So, yeah. But yeah, once again, the Clean Air Act is unconstitutional. The EPA is unconstitutional.
Yeah, they've done good stuff in the past, but man, they've really, really overstepped their bounds.
And they're just going to keep doing it. They're going to keep squeezing the middle class that so many people talk about, and the poors.
It's mostly going to be the poor.
It'll be the middle class too, man. Even if you're making $150,000 a year, getting hit with, hey, you have to buy a $60,000 vehicle, that's a big hit.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge hit.
Big throbbing hit.
And if you have two cars, anyhow, don't worry, guys. Inflation's coming down.
I have a bridge I would like to sell you.
Tim Scott has announced that he's looking into a presidential exploratory committee.
I saw that.
We've talked about Tim a couple of times. From what I know of Tim Scott, I like Tim Scott. I think Tim Scott is a winner for Republicans. I just don't think this is his year.
No, I think if he wants to do something, he should be a VP pick.
He's a little green for this kind of run, especially when the other two people in the race, the two major players in the race, are likely a former president and a governor. You have two executives. He could win. Weirder things have happened. It's just a rough year to get into the Republican primary, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it's not a right time unless he's running for VP.
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing also. I mean, once you jump in like that, if he has any success, you know who's coming after him, right?
Yeah, of course.
Donald Trump will come after him. And that'll be a shit show.
Yeah.
Because Donald Trump, and look, I'm not saying that Donald Trump shouldn't or anything. It's just with the way it'll all be portrayed and stuff, you're better off just hinting that you'd rather be vice president.
Yeah. But
hell, so good luck to him. It's the primaries. We'll see what happens. I think this is the wrong year for that. I think it's just a waste of money.
Yeah.
Now, several things could happen that would change that. Trump could drop out. Yeah. That's not going to happen. Did you see Trump talking about how when he was arrested, there were people in there crying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, he's prone to hyperbole. So, I mean, anybody that takes it literally. There might have been some emotional basket case there, like some chick on her period, but kind of doubt it.
No, because he's very specific about some people were emotional, some people were upset by it, and some people were actually crying. Mr. President. Bullshit. Sir, bullshit. Nobody was fucking crying because you got arrested during that. Nobody did it. Stop it. Stop it. You don't have to go that far. You can just stop with, there were people who were upset by it because of that, I'm sure. But some of them had tears. Shut up. You're a liar. Stop it. Just stop it. You don't have to go that far.
Don't have to, but it's funny.
A couple of months ago, we watched a little bit of a video, Jack, of a woman who went up in front of the Arizona House, and she made a whole bunch of claims.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Whole bunch of claims of criminal behavior from various different people in the government.
Now she's missing, right?
No, the congresswoman, the state legislator who invited her, has been kicked out of the Arizona House.
Oh. Well, that'll happen. Oh, are we going to have a big protest like they did in Tennessee?
No.
Oh.
No, of course not. Now, look, I will say this. We even said it at the time. Some of her stuff that she was up there saying sounded a bit...
like Sons of Anarchy?
A bit like she sits at home with a tin foil on her head, and not ironically.
That just means that she knows the truth, monkey. A Faraday helm will protect you from Major League Baseball. Read your thoughts.
Arizona House votes to expel Republican lawmaker. The Republican-controlled Arizona House on Wednesday voted to expel a GOP lawmaker from the state-level chamber after she invited a guest speaker before the committee to make unvetted criminal allegations against elected officials. I'm going to throw this into chat so you guys can read it if you want to. The biggest problem that they had here, Jack, is not that she had somebody up there who just did that. It's that she claimed she didn't know what the lady was going to say.
Yeah.
And that she didn't realize she was going to go up there and slander people. Thank you, Alan, for the donation. I appreciate it, my friend.
Yes. Also, thank you, Alan, who says, hello, Jack. Hi, Alan. Hope you're doing well, man.
But yeah, she didn't know this was going to happen, you see. She didn't know. But it turns out there's some kind of evidence that she absolutely knew what this lady was going to say. And it violates their rules of decorum or whatever. I don't care.
Lame.
I just thought it was
hilarious.
funny that we have these guys kicked out 2 days ago or 3 days ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Both have been reinstated now.
Interim reinstatements.
And then this one happens and nobody's really saying shit. Now, in fairness, I do think the lady that she brought up there is kind of a loon and has some personal vendettas she was trying to settle, considering some of the people that she was naming had business that went sour with her boyfriend, who she didn't mention was the guy she was talking about the whole time.
Yes. Well, I maintain that if any of it's true, there's some serious problems, but she's probably a crackpot, which, kind of makes me sad because it would have made a great documentary miniseries.
Oh, it would have made a great movie.
Yeah. That would have been, I could see Ben Affleck directing that.
But I just can't, I can't support her just because she's taking shots at people I don't like when she seems like a crackpot.
Oh, you are such a negative Nancy.
She seems like she's going to try to sell me my pillows.
No, she would try and sell you the pillows.
Probably.
Is like a knockoff version of my pillows that will never be delivered. It'll just be an empty box.
All right. There's other things that I want to talk about, but I want to make sure we get this one in. Can I still read? Okay, cool.
I don't know.
I don't know why the Washington Post is being cool with this story.
Because the Post is full of tards. Who knows?
Oh, well, you be careful with that. Be careful with what you just said.
I have a lovely article from them today as well.
Are you ableist?
Probably. I don't know.
And it lets you read it. It lets you read it, even though you can see right there, sign in. I'm not signed in. I don't subscribe to them anymore because, poor.
Wait, yeah.
But
like, share, subscribe, donate if you're feeling generous.
Research shows that unconscious bias against disabled people is common, but experts say it's difficult to recognize.
Not really. Be like, oh, freaky cripple. Where's your other leg, cripple? That seems fairly obvious to me.
Can you recognize when you're being ableist? Even well-meaning people can exhibit unconscious bias against people with disabilities. Ableism is rooted in, this is my favorite part of the whole thing. Ableism is rooted in the assumption that non-disabled people are the ideal.
Really? Really? So you want to crawl on your stumps to get away from monsters? I don't understand. What are you talking about? Of course it's ideal not to be impaired.
Having a disability doesn't make you a bad person, but yes, being able-bodied is absolutely the ideal.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be? What would be the ideal instead, Jack? Like you said, missing some legs?
Yeah, no, Oki nailed it. So difficult it probably doesn't even exist. Yeah, that's oh my god, this is ridiculous. Unconscious bias. Fuck off.
Where are we? The Washington Post consulted 25 disabled activists and scholars.
Not biased at all. Monkey. Monkey. Monkey.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay, you're back. Yay.
When they said they went to talk to 25 disabled activists, I'm wondering, like, are they talking they were activists for the disabled, or were they like retarded people?
Yes. Either or both. It doesn't really. Can you tell a difference? Because
Like
if you can, you have unconscious bias.
Like she went to him, her name's Amanda, like, hi, I'm Amanda. And they went, hello.
Hi, wanna play with baloney?
My name is Potato. Including representatives from several national. By the way, I am a cripple. I have a disabled card. I can make fun.
I'm just an asshole, so I'm gonna continue to make fun.
I have internalized ableism.
You do, you monster.
Including representatives from several national disability organizations to create a quiz that can help someone learn more about ableist thinking.
I think a lot of the people that write these articles probably are disabled cognitively.
Well, this Amanda Morris here, she is their disabled correspondent. And I'm not sure if that means she's disabled or she just covers disabled things.
She's got a fetish.
Oh,
I'm here to cover some news. Oh, I love your leg braces. Let me open my blouse a little bit. It's warm in here.
Read each example and think about how you would typically react to the situation. Then read how people in the disability community feel about the same scenarios. Now, Jack, by virtue of being disabled, I am in the disabled community.
Oh, yeah, you are indeed. So am I supposed to take this quiz because you're biased?
Well, I was going to let you answer them because I'm pretty sure I know what the right answers are.
Oh, okay. Do you want hilarious answers or honest ones?
No, I want you to try to answer honestly.
Oh, shit. Okay. It might be both. So,
I mean, we can get hilarious with it, but I'm just pointing out they didn't ask me how I would feel about any of these answers.
Why would they do that?
I'm in the disabled community. Why didn't they ask me?
No, they don't want to know. He fell out again. Are you back yet?
I'm back now.
Okay. Yay.
I want it to be known I'm upset by not being asked. All right, Jack, here's the scenario. You ready?
Hang on. Before you get to that. Thank you, Cripples United. We remove your cripple card. You're no longer part of the Crips.
Well, Jack's not one of them. I am.
I think they were talking to you, but yeah,
they donated to you.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Oh, I'm okay with it too, but you're not the cripple.
Well, it depends who you're asking. My family.
All right. Scenario number 1, Jack.
Okay.
You see a blind woman at a busy intersection with no audible pedestrian signal. What do you do?
What color is she?
In this picture, she's black. She's got a dog and a stick.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to assume that I shouldn't get involved because that might be racist. Also, usually the dogs wait. So There's no audible signal. I don't know. Is there traffic? Is this in a city or a town?
Well, there's a multiple choice here.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That makes it worse.
All right, number 1, ask her if she would like help. Number 2, avoid her. You're not sure how to approach a blind person, which I think is as close as to what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, introduce yourself and take her arm to help her cross.
What if she doesn't actually want to cross? I would avoid her because that's a hot button issue. And if she gets hit by a car, then I'm not the bigot. That driver is. Because I don't want my life destroyed by helping others. Helping others is dangerous these days.
Well, here's what they say about your answer. Not quite. This choice suggests you may have bias. Ignoring or intentionally avoiding an interaction because someone has a disability is a form of ableism, says Michelle Nario Redmond, a professor at Hiram College who specializes in stereotyping, prejudice, and disability studies.
How is that a fucking job? Seriously, that is not a job. That's some made up shit.
You know why that's a job? Because we sent everybody to fucking college.
Yeah, they started making up phony degrees just to see if they could get away with it, I think.
Well, we had to have something to teach them so that somebody would come back and teach more stupid shit.
Yeah, it's a parasitical cycle with these freaks. Well, all of the answers could be ableist. That's the problem.
Well, ask her if she would like help is the right answer. And it says, people with disabilities say they prefer this approach. If you guys see me struggling and you want to just come over and help, I'm okay with that. I really am.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that creepy to walk up to random women and start talking to them? Weren't we told about this at the parking lot thing the other day?
Yes, you just start screaming.
Yeah. Do you need help? Fuck that. Oh, thank you, Rodline. The answer to all these is point and laugh. I agree.
All right, number 2. A friend's adult daughter has an intellectual disability and is pregnant. Let's stop right there.
What?
Who knocked up the retarded girl?
Was it your friend?
If it wasn't another retarded person, isn't that kind of taking it? If it's, JF Garrity, isn't that taking advantage?
Yeah, it could be rape in some states because intellectual development delays could be constitution of rape because they're not capable of consent.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, okay. Your friend's adult retarded daughter is pregnant. The family is financially stable. What do you say to your friend?
I have to call CPS about this.
Fair.
Because if you're a mandated reporter, like a teacher, a doctor, you need to be calling like board of mental. Well, they don't call it board of mental retardation anymore. The boards of disability and the Children Protective Services. Even if she is an adult, she's developmentally delayed, so that makes her very childlike, and you can still call them for advice on who to contact. So because they have like the no wrong door policies at most CPSs, so they will help you find somebody to talk to about this because this is probably a crime. Oh, are you back? I'm so Ronry.
That's the chick who was hooked up with Baked Alaska.
What? You were gone for a little while there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ashton Birdie's doing OnlyFans. She was the chick that was hooked up with Baked Alaska.
Oh yeah, isn't she like autistic or something?
No, she just sounds it.
Is she get naked?
She's on OnlyFans, so I would imagine so.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up later.
All right, over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much, Keldrig. If this ever loads, why is my internet being such a bitch tonight? Your friend's adult daughter has intellectual disabilities. You could have saved time and just called her a Democrat. Fair enough.
She's got a pretty nice ass.
Who, Ashton?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not very smart if you've ever seen her talk.
Yeah. Matt Jarbo doesn't mind if they're kind of dumb.
That's fair. And she had a really weird freak out with Baked Alaska one time too. You should look it up someday.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, you let Baked Alaska touch you, so there's some trauma there.
I upset him a little bit the other day.
Did you call him a Fed?
No, somebody took a picture from Mario, and there's this character that vaguely looks like Baked Alaska, and they're like, "Oh, they took Baked Alaska," and I asked, "How could you tell? Did he get punked in prison, or is it just the unkempt beard and the dude bro glasses?" And he wasn't the happiest about that.
Oh, boo fucking who.
Do y'all know getting
somebody said something mean about me on the internet.
getting punked in prison means? Anyway, let's get all right, let's get back to our quiz, Jack. Here's your 3 answers you can choose from.
Okay.
We have the adult daughter, disabled, having a kid. Suggest genetic testing and possible abortion if the child would be similarly disabled. Suggest adoption and ask if she has thought about her daughter's ability to raise a child. Or 3, congratulate her and offer support if she needs it.
Congratulations!
What say you, Jack?
I don't like any of those options. No, I'm calling somebody. I'm gonna make some phone calls. I still know some people that work in the field.
That's fair.
I would call people. That's all there is to it. I would totally rat somebody out if their retarded daughter got knocked up, because there's something wrong there. Whether it's at home or not, there's something weird going on.
Well, given these options, if these are the only ones we could do, I would go with 2. You're talking about a disabled person, mentally disabled, intellectually disabled, they say.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean they can't raise a child, but there's going to come a point where they may be responsible for that child on their own.
Yeah, they either should give it up or have an abortion. Honestly, the kid's probably going to be retarded.
Now, the correct answer, of course, I haven't even clicked on, is going to be congratulate her, because of course.
Yeah. Yay! High five.
All right. With abortion, it says not quite. Suggesting that this mother should abort her child based solely on the risk of having a child with a disability reveals ableist expectations for what a perfect child should be.
How about just a normal one?
Says Catherine McLaughlin, the CEO of Elevatus Training, which provides sexual health education for people with disabilities.
All of their hard drives should be investigated.
All right. With adoption, it says disqualifying somebody from being a parent based on disability status alone is an ableist double standard, says Rebekah Coakley, a disability rights activist and program officer for Ford Foundation U.S. Disability Rights Program. Fuck,
Yeah,
that's a long title.
Until Mongo there gets upset at the baby crying and can't handle it, and freaks out and rips its arms off. I'm sorry, I've worked with developmentally delayed people. A lot of them have low stress tolerance.
Or decides they want a Pop-Tart and forgets the baby in the bathtub.
Yeah. Which could happen. So yeah, that kid, if she's gonna carry that kid to term, it's got to get taken away. I'm sorry. I don't care how mean that sounds. That's for the safety of the Newfoundling tard.
Yeah, I would never go the abortion route. I think should be the adoption route. But and that's not being mean. That doesn't mean it can't happen. It can't be taken care of properly. But it's a conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah, we've given the mentally ill a lot of leeway in the last 40, 50 years. Maybe it's time to dial that back a little bit. I know that sounds authoritarian, but...
Now, number 3 here, I actually skipped when I did it earlier, so we'll both be answering this one live.
Oh.
You're making medical decisions I read the question, but I skipped the answers.
Oh.
Because this can't happen. But anyway.
Well, look, I'm going to admit to the audience, I'm a bad person. So, sorry, you're going to have to deal with that. I don't know what to tell you. We're probably getting in trouble for this one.
Look, I'm with you. That last one of them should have been called CPS.
Yes.
Absolutely. So one of those should have been call the authorities, because this woman was probably raped.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, you're making medical decisions for a friend with life-threatening injuries but no advance directive. How would you advise doctors? Um, it's your friend. They won't let you. That's the real answer.
I've actually had to do this because
For a friend?
for one of my ex-girlfriends, I was her power of attorney.
Well, see, that's different. You gave
Yeah.
her, or she gave you the power of attorney on that.
Yeah. That's a good point.
If
Otherwise,
you and your friend,
if you don't have power of attorney, you have no say in anything.
yeah, if you and your friend are in a car accident together and he's really fucked up and you're not, they're not going to come to you. Hey, what do you think we should do with Bill over here?
Yeah, you're not allowed to say harvest his organs for money.
Sell him to the
because you have no
Chinese. He
control.
looks Uyghur to me.
Yeah. Get his
Sorry.
signals. Oh, yeah.
That time I was drinking. I wasn't actually cut off.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, number one, ask for life-saving measures in all situations except brain death. Ask for life-saving measures except in the case of paralysis from the neck down. Ask for life-saving measures except in the case of a brain injury and cognitive disability. Ooh. All right, Jack. Life-saving measures except brain death, except paralysis, or brain injury and cognitive decline.
Can I use
Fetterman, basically.
Yeah, can I use all three? I mean, can I phone a friend? Because look, first of all, if anybody lets me beat all Terry Schiavo, I will haunt your asses through the end of time. I will haunt you after you die. So I'm gonna go with actually paralysis because that's the worst scenario.
You know what? I actually probably agree with you on that.
Yeah, because from the neck down, no, you better fucking let me die in that case. Because I do not want to be like Christopher Reeve blowing a little straw to move around and not being able to do anything. Oh God, no.
Hey, but you get that really hot nurse that'll wipe your ass for you because that's sexy.
Ugh. Yeah, no, I don't. See,
right.
point and laugh works here. You're not wrong,
Now-
Rodline.
I already know the correct answer on this. I haven't clicked on it, but it's going to be the top one. It's going to be life-saving measures in all situations except brain death. Let's click on it. Hey, look, we're right.
You're dead. Yeah.
All right, so let's look at paralysis. The answer suggests that you don't think life is worth living if you need a motorized wheelchair.
No, I don't think life is worth living if I can't feel anything below my face.
Time out, because that was from the neck down.
Yeah. What's your quality of life like? What's your life expectancy? You can't feel if an insect bites you, like you get a spider bite from a brown recluse. You're not gonna know. You have to have somebody come in and exercise your limbs every day so you don't get blood clots or bed sores.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna die of an infection within 10 years anyway, because your system is not getting any exercise. Even my lazy fat ass gets more exercise than somebody paralyzed.
Yeah, Merle, that first one's kind of redundant because brain death is death.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're brain dead, they can keep your body alive till they harvest the organs, I guess. But
I want to address the wheelchair thing before I read a little bit more. I think life would be kind of cool with an electric wheelchair. Now, not if I was forced to stay in it all the time, Jack.
Yeah.
But that's not what it says.
Yeah, I don't want to be all Stephen Hawking,
No.
I don't think. Look, for me, that is not a quality of life I'm prepared to deal with. It's in my living will. If I'm going to be traumatically brain injured beyond the point of being able to take care of myself, or if I'm going to be crippled, just pull the fucking plug and let me die. I don't want to be Terry Schiavo.
This says it perpetuates this idea that disability is the worst thing that could happen to, and you're better off dead than disabled, says Dom Kelly, president and CEO of New Disabled South, a disability justice nonprofit organization. No, it depends on the disability, Jack. I wouldn't want somebody to pull the plug on me right now. I'm disabled. I'm all right.
Yeah, but you're not
this literally says from the neck down.
Yeah. I just don't see the quality of life there. The things I enjoyed doing, I won't be able to do anymore. I won't be able to have hobbies or even change the channel on the TV remote without worrying that my helper monkey is going to go all monkey shines and try and kill me. Not prepared for that. Plus, what if you get one of those nurses that likes to cut limbs off like Misery?
Thank you, Spud Gun. I got a slab, so that I could donate and you get more to keep more of the money. And I decided that sorry, let me read that again. I got a slab so that I could donate and you get to keep more of the money. And it decided that it didn't want to give it to you. Wah! Hi, Monkey. And Pennsylvania gets what it deserves with Fetterman. Fair enough. I mean, they did elect the fucker. But here's the problem. He's now one of 100 senators that makes decisions for me. Yeah. They elected him, but he's part of what affects all of us in the US now. I mean, I'm glad they wanted us to know they're retarded. All right, let's go with brain injury and cognitive disability. Some people are biased against one type of disability, but not another, said Tina Pinetto, the communications director for the Disability Rights Education and Defense Fund. Why do they have such long names for these things?
I don't know.
She said cognitive disabilities are often stigmatized or misunderstood.
Look, I'll give her that because there's different levels of traumatic brain injury. Some of them are severe and basically leave you drooling vegetable. I don't want to be that. If
Right.
I'm functional, fine, but I don't want to be a vegetable. I don't want to sit there just drool into a cup for the next 30 years.
It depends on how functional.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank. I did not elect him, voted against. Yeah, but we still got him, didn't we? All right. Next up, you see a story on Facebook about a teen who has cerebral palsy elected prom king. What is your reaction?
Wait, what? Read that again.
You see a story on Facebook about a teen who has cerebral palsy elected prom king. What is your reaction?
Those high schoolers are dicks.
My reaction would be that's meaningless. That's just done for virtue signaling.
Absolutely. I don't care about that. I'll be like, whatever. I don't care. First of all, why am I on Facebook? Second of all, that's so trivial. I do not give a shit.
All right. Your choices are: you share the post because it's heartwarming that teens would elect him prom king.
Nope, don't care.
You find it inspiring that a person can overcome their disability and accomplish great things.
Nope.
You feel happy for the teenage boy and you move on.
I feel indifferent toward the teenage boy and move on. And I wonder about the person that posted this story and why they care so much about what happens in a high school. Unless their kid goes there or it is their kid, don't give a shit. Even then, I don't really give a shit. So I'm going with 3.
I just like this. You find it inspiring that a person can overcome their disability because a bunch of kids in school for virtue signaling elected him prom king.
Yeah, he didn't overcome anything. A bunch of people voted him in.
It's not like he got up and walked, for fuck's sake. All right, let's see. You share the post because it's heartwarming. Nope, that's ableist, Jack.
Of course it is.
It's fine to feel happy. Wait, okay. So the kids who did this, they're not ableist, but if you share it because for that same virtue signaling bullshit, then it's ableist. Frosted, thank you. D, overthrow the prom monarchy in a violent coup. It's
yes, power to the proletariat.
That's right. It's fine to feel happy that someone with a disability was not discriminated against. Do you not understand that that's still discrimination?
Yeah. Well, you're not allowed to feel good about something, I guess. I don't know. Fine. These people are dumb.
All right.
Poll has no logic whatsoever. Yeah, you're right. It's stupid.
If you find it inspiring that he overcame his disability, it's often referred to as inspiration porn, which presents ordinary things disabled people do as extraordinary or inspiring. Is getting elected prom king a normal thing that disabled people do?
Yeah, I don't know.
It is extraordinary if you got elected because it doesn't happen normally, you stupid. Never mind.
By the way, I looked up Ashton's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
How much do you think she's charging?
Oh God, she's ashen. So probably what's a value meal go for these days?
Like $9.
So $9.
No, you're wrong. 15.
She's not worth 15.
No. Some of the softcore stuff is on, like with thongs and stuff on already available. She's got like a wish list too, and one of them is a pink ranger outfit, which didn't know I had a fetish for that, but apparently I do.
Will you DM that to me? I need to do some research.
Sure.
This kind of story is referred to as inspiration porn. While it may seem positive, it actually otherizes disabled people and reveals that you have low expectations for disabled people in general. Apparently, I have low expectations for disabled people. Number 5, Jack. We have quite a few of these to go, I think.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This is a good one for you. You're a single man, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. So this is more directed at you than me because I'm married and can't date anyway. Yeah, but I don't go to bed lonely every night.
Yeah, shut up.
Travis Gardner, thank you. I dated a girl with cerebral palsy and mostly just didn't think about it. She mostly just had problems walking. Someone asked if there was a fetish and she blurted, "Yes, I have an asshole kink." Should have married her. That's nice, actually.
Yeah. Again, there's not like one thing that is cerebral palsy. There are degrees of cerebral palsy.
No.
Like you could be bound in a wheelchair, drooling, not aware of your surroundings, or you could have a very mild or minor case of it.
All right. You see somebody on a dating app who's attractive and shares your interest. Then you realize they have a physical disability. What do you do?
Read that again.
You see somebody on a dating app who's attractive and shares your interest. Then you realize they have a physical disability. What do you do?
What's the physical disability? Like, do they have an awesome scar?
Nope,
Or,
you don't get to know that.
Well, that makes a difference.
Nope.
Because what if I'm a rock climber and missing both her legs?
She could just be missing the tip of her pinky finger for all we know. Any disability. What do you do?
I don't know. If she meets my interests and I find her attractive, what's the problem?
All right, well, let's see the questions you get, okay, or the answers you get. Be honest with yourself if you don't think you can date someone with a disability. Ask them on a date and see where it goes. You realize this person has probably been rejected by others and decide to go on a date. I like number 3. Pity dates are awesome.
Yeah. Since she's attractive?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd probably take her out then. What's the problem?
All right. Frank, thank you, said swipe left. All right. If you're honest with yourself and you can't date somebody like that, nope, rejecting this person because of their disability wrongly assumes that dating them is inherently worse than dating somebody without a disability. No, it just means you're not comfortable with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
There is, because what if her disability is a feminine penis?
Oh no, that is definitely a deal breaker.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
All right, if you do it because if you do the pity date, while this may seem kind, it also assumes this person should be pitied and doesn't go on a lot of dates because of their disability.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about that, but if she's attractive and we have the same interests, I don't really give a fuck about the disability so much, unless it's something like she has a prehensile tail or something. I don't know. It would really have to I'd have to know more about what the disability is.
Well, you were right with your answer to take them on a date. At risk of overstating the obvious, people with disabilities want to be treated like everyone else in the dating world. Unless, you think they might need help. Because, Jack, if you saw somebody struggling, okay, maybe not you. Most people, if they see somebody struggling, they want to go help them. And so they try to go help them. But we learned earlier, you're not supposed to help people. Because disabled people get mad?
Well, they're not going to chase you at least, unless it's on the. You just have to outrun the battery on their mobilized scooter.
Thank you, Frost, who said D. Ask what her phone screen tastes like. She's physically disabled, not the chick that got pregnant earlier.
Yeah, it's got glass on it. Tastes like Windex. Thank you, Travis Gardner. Fuck, data are attractive, interesting, and could skip the line at parks. Good parking spots. See, there's benefits to everything.
That's why you got to make sure it's bad enough that you get those benefits, but not so bad that it creeps you out.
Yeah, or is like horrifying, you know.
Yeah.
Or you know, she has some sort of pact with the devil. You know, I'd want to know a little. I need more information to work with.
And that's a big problem with this test. Is it is so overly fucking vague?
Yeah, Faithless just nailed it. It's a quagmire of catch-22s. It's best to avoid them all, apparently. Yeah. Just don't make eye contact with the crippies, and you'll be fine.
You found a job candidate with the right experience. Then they tell you they are deaf and request transcription or interpretation services. What would you do?
Depends on the job. Is this a construction job where that would make a life or death difference? Or is this like an office job where they probably already have services like that anyway?
I appreciate a coworker who I can talk behind their back literally and them not hear it.
You can talk to their side and get away with that. But are they an ambulance driver? Are they a fireman or a policeman? Because that makes a difference.
Hey, they have the right experience. All right. Number 1, ask if they can do the interview without these accommodations. Cancel the interview. You feel bad about it, but you don't think a deaf person could do the job. Call human resources to set up the requested accommodations.
Well, if you work in a big company, you call human resources because they already have that shit on retainer usually.
I would just be like, I couldn't hear him.
How's he hearing me? I don't know. Get the interpreter to explain it to them. Yeah, it's a social worker that they go out with as a police officer. I think this really depends on what kind of job it is. Again,
it absolutely depends on the job. I'm sorry, Jack. Go ahead.
No, it's all very vague.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. The best job for cripples? Cripple fights. That's true.
True.
That's a scientific fact.
By the way, in this case, the right answer, I haven't even clicked on it, Jack, but it's going to be that bottom one. Set it up with human resources.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be mean to the crippy. Oh, look at that. We got it right.
Shocker.
Which of these terms would you use for a child if they had autism and required some support? Do you want to take a shot before I give you the possibilities?
No.
I don't think Tard Monkey's on here. All right, number 1, autistic and disabled, special needs and differently abled, or you choose not to label your child.
I know the honest answer is probably C, but the correct answer is A, because that's the classifications you have to do to get them in services.
All right, let's see. Autistic and disabled is the correct answer. You are using accurate terminology. So if I call them retarded, that's accurate too.
Yeah, for like 1930. Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, up until what? It was the 90s when they changed that shit.
Well, it was regional, but yeah, that push really started in the 80s and then real hard in the 90s.
Call it Rain Child. All right, you're using the accurate terminology. Yay. All right, so special needs and differently abled. You may have heard these terms before, but they are euphemisms that tiptoe around the word disability. The word disability is not something that anyone should be ashamed of using. Neither's cripple, you fucking hypocrite.
Well, it used to be true with retard, too.
True.
Because that was a classification. That was a medical term. That child is retarded. Moron and idiot and stupid all come from that same branch. So,
You choose not to label your child says, while a parent's instinct might be to make their child seem normal as possible to protect them from bullying or hurt, sometimes well-meaning attempts to normalize a disabled child can be harmful.
Yeah, monsters.
But didn't they? I feel like earlier we were told we're not supposed to treat them any different, and normal is kind of a bad thing.
Well, the people that do these things are hypocrites, if nothing else.
They
So,
absolutely are. And for the record, that's the end of our stupid ass quiz there. But as a disabled person, I felt it imperative that we take a look at it,
yeah, understandable.
so that you people in there in chat can learn how you're supposed to deal with me. As a crippled person, please never pull the plug.
Yeah.
I would rather, serious question, Jack.
Hmm.
They're not going to pull the plug. That's not negotiable. Plug's not getting pulled on you.
Okay, not good friends. Got it.
Would you rather be in a coma for the rest of your life or paralyzed from the neck down?
Coma.
Me too. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Don't want to know.
I would be massively depressed and have no quality of life, paralyzed from the neck down. I'm sorry. I don't know how those people are braver than I am. I couldn't do it. No way.
Look, if I woke up that way and like, hey, this is how life is now, I would deal with it best I could.
Yeah, until I could work that wheelchair and go out and go off.
But by the same token, Jack, if I found out that somebody had made that decision and kept me in their life for their own selfish fucking reasons like that, I would hate them.
Oh, with the passion of 1,000 suns. And I would do everything within my power to destroy their lives. Typing one keystroke at a time with a straw in my mouth at a laptop, trying to crush them. But yeah, that would be the only thing worth living for. And then once that was achieved, I would attempt to unalive myself.
The whole push, like, hey, this makes it seem like being disabled is worse than being dead. In some cases, I think it's a personal experience for people.
Oh, Herman Munster said it better. Sometimes death is better.
No, I think that's a personal thing. If you could live like that, by all means, that's better than death, right?
Sure. Let's go with that story.
If I could never hug my grandchildren again, I don't want to live in that world.
Worse, never feel the hugs because they'll still hug you. You can't hug them back or feel it.
But yeah, I could not hug them.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
hold your spouse. Couldn't have sexual gratification again. Yeah, there's a lot of downsides. Couldn't go for a walk.
Yeah.
If somebody leaves you outside and it starts raining, not only are you going to get soaking wet and get pneumonia and probably get really sick, you're also a giant lightning rod.
True. All right. Do I want to do any of this other stuff? Well, I just want to briefly mention this. The Republicans down in Texas, Jack, they are trying to pass a bill that will make it harder within the state, and this means for their Senate elections as well, to the U.S. Senate, the U.S. House, that if you run for an office, you have to be in a party that has a primary.
That's trying to keep the Green Party and the Libertarians out, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Yes.
That's stupid.
And I saw libertarians bitching about this and like, call your representatives. Like, call the Democrats and Republicans and ask them to make it easier for them to lose their seats.
Yeah, they're trying to keep their monopoly. No, that sounds unconstitutional, quite honestly.
It's not, because they can make up their own rules.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, time to start having primaries.
If you want to change it, what you have to do is get people who aren't Republicans and Democrats elected to office.
Yeah.
So good luck to them down there. But I just thought it was funny. They're like, call your congressman. Like, you realize he's just going to be like, oh yeah, that is very concerning. And then he's going to hang up the phone and go, did you get to listen to that fucker?
Yeah. Well, some of the libertarians I know was just if they called their senator or congressman, it just inspired them to vote for it, even if they weren't going to before. Like, oh, crackpot, calm down.
Yep.
They don't want to hear about the
Look,
New World Order.
before anybody ever mentioned a uniparty, the Republicans and Democrats have been working together to keep a third party from ever popping up.
Yep.
They do it every fucking election. You'll see them constantly sue third parties. Be like, no, you don't belong on this ballot.
Yeah, it's mutual assurance.
They do not give a fuck about democracy.
No, it's all about power and control.
Ebony asked, really? Yes, you can. There was one this last election where they were suing each other to keep them off ballots. They do it every year. Absolutely. Because they're dirty little fuckwads.
No lies detected.
Why would they? That would be like asking for a third team to play in the Super Bowl. Now we want another team in here so we have a better chance of losing.
Football may be more watchable if there's a third team. The
It would be interesting. Bring out two more.
Marauders.
Bring out two more teams for the game.
You just have one other team, and their job is to keep anyone from scoring. They're just there to cause chaos.
Their defense all the time.
Yes, they're always trying to get the football. That's it. That's their entire job. They don't score any points. They just run interference, and if they can achieve collecting the ball the most, more than the other people, they win.
Whole Foods in San Francisco closing 1 year after opening due to safety concerns, according to a report. All right. Do you have the Walmart story too?
No, I saw that the Chicago one.
Yeah, Chicago one's shutting down. It's the fourth one in the last few months.
Yeah, 4 Walmarts leaving Chicago. You know things are bad because let's face it, lots of Walmarts are in the hood.
They closed down a Walmart because, quote, it's losing millions a year.
Yeah, they're the same problems that San Francisco, well, California in general is having with all the thefts. Nobody's prosecuting them.
Somebody said, I was reading the comments. We'll get to this story in a second, but I was reading the comments on that, and somebody's like, you people aren't paying attention. Only one of these was a super center. All right, fair enough.
That's where people go to get their food.
The GM stores, general merchandise stores, don't make as much money, and they do have a harder time making money. The fact that one super center shut down, super centers are cash cows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And not just because they have food in them, Jack, but because the government gives people money to go spend at the food part of those stores.
Yeah, EBT cards, SNAP cards. They bring in a ton of cash.
To be losing millions of dollars is just insane. Anyhow, Whole Foods said the store is closing only for the time being due to drug use and crime near the location.
Huh, weird that.
Is there a bunch of hippies around?
Bunch of hobos, apparently.
It's Whole Foods, so.
Oh, that's their shopping base. If they can't even sell to hippies, you know it's bad.
Whole Foods Market announced that a store in downtown San Francisco will be closed after Monday, just over a year after the store first opened because of crime in the city, according to a report. The grocery store chain said the Whole Foods located on 8th and Market Streets will be closed temporarily as it deals with crime near the store that impacts its workers' safety. How are they going to deal with crime?
By shutting stores down.
They going to bring in private security?
They could try, but I bet they'd be sued into oblivion if they did.
Spud, I'll check my Twitter DMs, but it's probably not going to make the show tonight. I'll check it after the show, bud. Especially not if it's somebody getting violently because some chick got hit, apparently. We have to be careful with those kind of videos.
Yeah, they're cracking down more and more.
We are closing our Trinity location only for the time being. If we feel we can ensure the safety of our team members in the store, we'll evaluate a reopening of the location. Deteriorating street conditions around drug use, because they made it legal to just do drugs in public.
Yeah.
And crime near the grocery store led to the Whole Food locations closing its doors, according to the San Francisco Standard. There has been a massive decline in people walking in downtown San Francisco since the start of the coronavirus pandemic because of remote jobs. You can't blame it on that. People still have to go get fucking food.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a fast food place here. We're talking about grocery shopping.
Yeah, groceries, basic life necessities, medication. Yeah, that's ludicrous.
The area has also experienced extreme poverty, drug use, and mental illness.
No.
City Hall officials are predicting a nearly $800 million deficit in the city's budget. Wow.
Well, Walgreens pulled out some of their big stores. A bunch of other places are closing up. Mom and pop shops are closing all over the place. What do they expect?
The Whole Foods on Market Street cut its operating hours in October over high theft?
What's a theft?
High theft and hostile visitors, one of the store managers told the outlet. In November, the store changed its bathroom rules after syringes and pipes were found.
What? Seriously? I'm shocked.
Yeah. Isn't San Francisco the one that went, hey, we'll give out needles to everybody?
Yes. Hey, real fast. Thank you. Understatement. Missed last night's live, but I have a suggestion. Be like Destiny. He makes bank just by having weird relationships with other streamers. Also, have you seen the channel Squirmy and Grubs with the super disabled guy and the attractive girl? Do you trust it? I would not trust that, but I've not seen it.
I'm fairly certain I've seen that. It's not something I watch very often.
Oh.
I think it's been sent to me a few times.
Sorry, I mispronounced that. Squimmy.
I'm fairly certain I've seen that before. I think it's something my wife used to watch, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I that sounds like somebody fucking around.
But as for Destiny, here's the thing. One, I don't have clout to give anybody. Destiny can pretty much stream with whoever he wants to because he has tons of clout to give away. And on the other side of that, Destiny gets to bang a lot of his female fans because he has clout and his wife doesn't care that he goes and bangs people.
Yeah, you have no clout and your wife would get super pissed.
My wife would kill me in my sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably while you're awake, just stab you and watch you bleed to death as you fall down the stairs.
Yeah, right. Be like, what are you going to do, bitch? You cripple.
Yeah. Oh, you fell down the stairs one too many times, huh? Yeah. I don't know. There's some streamers I'd probably bang, even though it's a terrible, terrible idea.
JB says, dude probably only gets hand job. No. These girls are out there banging Destiny. It's nice being famous.
I guess there's a manlet fetish out there.
When you're rich and famous, man, there are women who will bang you. Hot women who will bang you.
Yeah, look, nothing gets panties wet like Benjamin Franklin.
Especially in this modern age where it's clout driven.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving along. We got China up next, huh?
Oh, read the last article next, if you don't mind, because that one's actually kind of important, and I didn't mean to have it last.
You're gonna have to read it. That one won't open.
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second.
Sure. The first two opened just fine. I thought we were gonna have a good night, but nah, bro.
That'd be too easy. The Manhattan DA sues Representative Jim Jordan for brazen attack on the Trump probe.
I saw this shit. Yeah.
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg filed a federal lawsuit Tuesday seeking to stop Jim Jordan from what the prosecutor said is a brazen and unconstitutional attack by members of Congress on the prosecution and investigation of former President Donald Trump. Lawyers for Bragg's office and private law firm Gibson Dunn filed the 50-page civil complaint in the U.S. District Court in Manhattan against an investigation launched by Jordan, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. The House Judiciary Committee can absolutely do this. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Jordan and other members of the committee.
I don't know if it's going to be mentioned in the article, but part of the reason we know they can do this is because they just did this shit to Trump with his taxes and stuff.
Yeah. So yes, Jordan can do this. I'm sorry if Alvin Bragg doesn't like that. Jordan and other members of the committee are trying to obtain confidential investigative material compiled during the district attorney's criminal probe. Bragg is asking a federal judge to prohibit Jordan and the committee from involvement in an ongoing New York State criminal prosecution and investigation of Trump and invalidate a subpoena from Jordan's committee to former prosecutor Mark Pomerantz. Former prosecutor, the guy that wrote a book on this entire situation, by the way.
Yep.
The subpoena to Pomerantz, who split with Bragg's office early last year following a dispute over how the case should proceed, calls for him to testify before the committee on April 20th. Since he's not employed anymore, it doesn't matter. Bragg should have no say over this. Also, they're not coming in and saying, like, Jim Jordan wants to prosecute this case. No, they're saying there's something funny here. Let's see what you've got, because you alluded to a crime, but never said what that crime was.
You need, or even more than just that, Jack. Why are you prosecuting this when you've let this go so many times?
Yeah,
this has never been done.
No, and that's just it. And the House Judiciary could absolutely say, "Hey, there's something funny going on," and poke around in this.
Yep,
they can't influence the trial, but they could say there's something weird here.
Well, that's part of. I don't know if it'll get to it. Part of Bragg's thing is that they're trying to influence the trial. You mean like you leaking details?
Yeah, like your office leaking like a sieve and going on TV all the time.
Everybody knowing what the charges were before it was unsealed?
Yeah. People knowing grand jury stuff? Come on.
Nah, man. The integrity of the investigation, Jack.
The lawsuit says Chairman Jordan claims he is seeking to conduct, quote, oversight. It's in quotes.
Yep.
But he has no power under the Constitution to oversee state and local criminal matters. Jordan posted about the lawsuit on Twitter.
Wait, back up. We have this happen with election shit all the time. You're wrong. Yeah. You're just wrong.
This has been done before. This is not new. Didn't the House Judiciary in the 60s investigate a bunch of trials in the South that were like railroaded against black people?
Yeah.
First they indict a president for no crime, Jordan wrote. Then they sue to block congressional oversight when we ask questions about the federal funds they say they used to do it. And that's where he gets the power, because they're using federal funds to prosecute Trump.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, it is established. You're right on that. But there's also established law with the federal government stepping in when states or cities are fucking up like that. It's happened constantly. Because
if it's a potential abuse of power, they can do that. Yep. You don't have to like it, and it probably is pretty authoritarian if you're not careful with it. But in this case, I think they're right to do it because there's some funny shit going on here. U.S. District Court Judge Mary Kay Viscosil denied Bragg's request, asking for an immediate pause in the committee's efforts, but set a hearing for April 19th, the day before Pomerantz was subpoenaed to appear on Capitol Hill. Jordan and the committee must submit any written objections by Monday morning. Pomerantz declined to comment on the lawsuit.
I'm just really curious, if Bragg was like, "Hey, this is one of our sitting prosecutors. The investigation is still going on," which you've already filed charges. Maybe I could understand it, but with a former prosecutor, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And the reason Jordan issued the subpoena for Pomerantz is because he recently published a book, a controversial memoir, as it's called in the article, on his experience investigating Trump, which makes him an expert in the field. And it would also make him a key witness to things going on that might be questionable. So, of course, he's going to subpoena him. And if he's not working for Bragg, what the fuck does Bragg have to say about it?
Well, here's the big problem for Bragg is that this guy quit because Bragg would not prosecute this.
Yeah.
And then after he quit, suddenly Bragg decides to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says that in the very next paragraph, actually.
Oh, there you
go. Said the case was politically motivated.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, Bragg slammed Jordan's subpoena of Pomerantz as another attempt to interfere with his office's case against Trump. Though Jordan has also threatened to subpoena Bragg, he has not done so yet. Early Monday, Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee announced they would be holding a field hearing in Manhattan next week to examine how Bragg's pro-crime, anti-victim policies have led to an increase in violent crime in a dangerous community for New York residents.
Bragg ran real quick. Bragg ran on getting Trump.
Yeah, which makes the entire prosecution very suspect.
The whole thing is political.
Oh, absolutely. Which that's not how our system is supposed to work.
That DA out in California, in Los Angeles, who went after Michael Jackson, he ran on getting Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Now, you can point at that and go, okay, this is biased as fuck, but you couldn't point at that and go, this is political. This one was, there's no question, it's political.
Yes,
it's a political
Trump
prosecution.
is the leading Republican candidate.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to keep stepping on you there, but yeah, this whole case is fucking retarded.
It absolutely is. But Jordan's, I think, doing the right thing here. The lawsuit points to a Supreme Court precedent established during litigation between Bragg's predecessor, Cyrus Vance Jr., and Trump's former accounting firm, Mazars USA, in a landmark 2020 ruling. The court in that matter ruled that Trump, then sitting president, was not immune from a state investigation. Bragg's team on the lawsuit includes private litigator Theodore Boutros, who has also represented Trump's niece and critic Mary Trump. Oh, God, that kook. Boutros and others representing Bragg's office have noted that the Supreme Court's Mazur decision highlights the firm divide between the state and federal law enforcement authority that the principle of federalism protects. The lawsuit argues that state and local authorities should be able to carry out duties without the fear that federal government, including Congress, could interfere. Oh, well, you better go back to some of those police departments that the DOJ's been investigating then and say they can't do that and apologize and give them tons of money. You know, the corrupt ones from the 60s that were looking the other way for the Klan?
Fuck, dude, one of Democrats' favorite talking points these days is the Voting Rights Act. We got to restore the Voting Rights Act. The Voting Rights Act steps on the state's ability, which is actually literally written into the Constitution, because they decided there was improper stuff going on at the state level.
Yep. Look, your hate facts have no place here.
Passed by Congress, signed by a president. Yeah. So kiss my ass. Fuck off.
So yeah, this goes on for a while. I dropped the link already in chat if you guys want to read it. I think this is bullshit. He's just trying to keep people from finding out that he's got nothing.
I think he's trying to keep a lid on it for the fact that this is absolutely political.
Oh, yeah, 100%. This guy's a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't care what laws he has to bend till they break.
I tell you this. If Bragg got called up before there and had to testify, I would sit here with popcorn and a hard-on watching it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I would love to see this guy have to explain to Jim Jordan how Donald Trump is such a horrible criminal that this prosecution had to go forward, yet he lets rapists and attempted murderers go all the time.
Well, he's literally Hitler, monkey. He's Orange Hitler.
He really is, yeah. All right, we good on that one?
Yep.
Okay. I may call on you again because I don't know how many of these will open, but the next one did.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Killer threat. China warns its carrier killer missiles will strike down U.S. forces before they even see Taiwan as World War III tensions rise.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, if we get into another world war, it's going to be completely different. Each world war has changed the nature of war.
Yeah, and we're a little behind the times, quite honestly.
But we're so much more advanced where, especially in the Pacific, our naval fleet won that for us, our naval fleet and our Marines. And we had to watch out for planes coming in, shooting it'll be a cruise missile that goes after our ships these days.
Yeah, you'll never see a hypersonic missile coming. By the time you hear it, it's too late.
Beijing's forces are conducting huge military drills around the self-governing island it regards as its territory, once again raising fears of nuclear war with the U.S., which has said it will defend Taiwan. Have we? I know Biden did. Is that the U.S. policy?
I don't know. Different people keep saying different things.
Because as far as I know, we're still under the one China policy, which Kirby just came out and reiterated the other day.
Yeah, but then Biden's like, yeah, we're gonna defend Taiwan. So I honestly don't know, and I don't think the Chinese know either.
I honestly don't know if we would, because I know Biden keeps saying it. But every time he has, they've had to walk that shit back.
Well, it's probably just an attempt to get another truckload of money.
Probably. Despite China declaring that the exercise over the last 3 days, its warships and planes continue to lurk around Taiwan, with its aircraft carrier Shandong conducting operations east of the island. What news outlet is this, Jack?
It's the Sun.
Is the Sun? I mean, has China stopped doing this at all?
You're kidding, right?
No, I'm just curious because they're acting like this is a new thing. Could you talk for just a moment?
Yeah. No. Yes, Bud Monkey Nose Wilson caused World War II. There were a lot of causes to World War II, and Woodrow Wilson putting egregious payments on with the Weimar Republic really did cripple them. So yeah, that's why they overprinted their money.
I don't know that you can just blame it on Wilson. I think NATO itself, well, at the time, United Nations coming into existence.
Well, the League of Nations was Woodrow Wilson's baby, though.
Fair enough.
And I don't like that fucker. He's a piece of garbage.
The horrific. I don't know that World War II doesn't still happen, Jack, but the horrific punishment for World War I absolutely caused World War II.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they didn't deserve some of that punishment.
Oh no, but the system was set up in place by Wilson specifically to punish them, which ended up crippling their economy, and he didn't give a shit because he was an evil bastard.
Which gave rise to extremism, and these people who are desperately poor are like, yeah, I'm going with that guy over there who says he's gonna make everything better.
Desperate people make desperate decisions.
As his forces menace Taiwan, state media has been ramping up aggressive rhetoric, even simulating the destruction of the island by the People's Liberation Army. At the forefront has been the fiercely nationalistic Global Times newspaper. An editorial said, PLA is 100% prepared for any foreign interference in the Taiwan question, whether it's military intervention, economic sanctions, or attempt at political isolation by the U.S. It insisted the Chinese mainland will have a response plan and will not back down. I mean, I get that this is the state paper and everything, but it's very much to me like when we see this stuff in Russia, it's saber rattling.
Yeah, it's dangerous saber rattling though.
It is, but I don't think it's going to lead to much other than us just giving in to China because that's what we do.
Yeah, we capitulate like little bitches, especially when Hunter's probably going to get a nice, healthy paycheck out of it.
Did you see Biden took that fucker to Ireland with him?
Yep.
You're going to take an addict to Ireland? Really? Why not just take him to Scotland? Fuck.
Well, heroin's probably better in Ireland.
Christ, man. Anyway. Had none of this when Trump was... Yeah, and the reason for that is one of the things that I did always like about Trump is he knew America's power and was not afraid to go, all right.
Yeah, he's an alpha male type. He'll thump his dick on the table every chance he gets just to prove that he can.
Yep.
My button works.
We have nukes and ours work, yeah. They remember when he puts the sanctions on China, we go into this trade war, which is the trade war that wasn't.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, he's going to cause a war with China. Instead, China went, oh, you were serious? Oh, our bad.
Whoops the doodle.
Hey, we had the same thing with Canada with NAFTA. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't remember,
they folded like a cheap card table too.
Yeah, you had NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, and Trump was like, this shit is unfair because it absolutely was. And he's like, we are renegotiating this. And Mexico went, yes, sir. And Trudeau went, no, bitch. And Trump went, all right, fuck you. And Trudeau folded quickly.
Very quickly. fuller than you'd expect from that little drama queen.
Because here's one important thing you need to remember. It's not just U.S. military might. We are still the monetary might in the world, the economic might in the world.
For now.
If we lose that, then we're fucked. And there's a lot of people who are trying to make us lose that, Jack.
Seemingly Biden included.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, globalist people. Do you see the other day that fucker actually used the term New World Order again?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Every time I turn on the news, I just sort of shake my head.
Did you see David Hogg actually said that he's going to start the moral majority, or that he's part of the moral majority, and we need to get rid of guns?
Yeah, David's
I was like,
not smart.
You just heard that term and didn't know what the fuck it meant, didn't you?
That sounds right.
Y'all know what the moral majority is? It's Jerry Falwell's thing.
Yeah, the super Jesus people.
Yeah. But you know, and then he has this little. He put a orange square next to his name on Twitter, Jack, so everybody knows he's part of the moral majority.
God, that guy. I'm pretty sure he's close to being a helmet wearer.
I'm certain that there's a helmet under that scalp. It just grew over it.
Yeah.
He's one of those people we talked about in the quiz.
Well, I'm not helping him across the street either.
All right, number 3, I can't pull up. I can pull up number 4.
Okay, hold on. Number 3, G2F.
No, P1ZM.
P1ZM. Okay. Do you want me to read that or you want to skip it?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Amarillo dairy farm fire kills thousands of cows, leaves one worker injured.
Shocking.
Yeah. A fire exploded.
So we had a chicken farm and now a dairy farm.
Yes. This is in Amarillo, Texas.
Are these things known for catching fire?
Well, milk is very combustible. I don't know if you knew that. And
All right.
cows, they're like sheep in Warcraft. If you click on them 50 times, they just blow up.
They blow up.
Boom. A fire explosion at a dairy farm in North Texas on April 10th left 18,000 dairy cows dead and one person injured. The fire and explosion at the South Fork Dairy Farm in Dimmitt, Amarillo, may stand to be the deadliest barn fire for cattle in Texas, according to the Animal Welfare Institute. Castro County Sheriff Sal Riviera, that's a cool name, told KFDA News Channel 10 on Monday that officials are still investigating the root cause of the fire, but acknowledged that the ensuing blaze spread in an area of the barn where the cows roam. Only a small percentage of cattle on the farm survived, Riviera added, and the surviving group of cows have been moved to a separate facility under South Fork's care. Castro County Sheriff's Office, law enforcement, fire departments, and EMS teams responded to the fire on Monday night. I think they're trying to determine if it's a machinery called a honey wagon that sucks out the manure and water. It might have ignited the possibility methane gas or something like that, Riviera said. That's a weird sentence. First responders rescued the lone injured dairy farm worker after he was trapped inside the facility. After being rescued, the worker was airlifted to University Medical in Lubbock and was reported in critical condition.
I'm seeing a couple of people say, it's not that, it could combust methane. Sure.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, guys. It's not this one farm blowing up.
No, this is now over 100 of these like strange air quotes fires and explosions, except for the one airplane one. Okay, that was an accident. But I'm calling bullshit. There's some weird stuff going on here with all these food fires and derailments.
Yeah, this is repeating exactly.
Yeah, it's just a little coincidental that we've suddenly had all these farm animals dying right when they want us to start eating bugs. Just saying.
By the way, we did get word today, Jack, that egg prices in most of the country are way down. We told you this would happen. Chickens don't take that long to get back to egg shape. But how much you want to bet we see an egg farm blow up again soon?
Well, how many chickens died in that one big fire that we looked at?
Thousands.
Yeah, and that was enough to drive prices way the fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, there were a couple of those fires, to be fair. And then there was an avian flu on top of that. So, yeah, I mean, look, there's some weird shit going on here, I think. You start putting together how many of these we've seen. Because we looked at that one list, and it had like 95, and a good 20% of those were easily explainable as accidents or, that one plane hit one. Fine. But there was enough other weird ones that nobody seemed to want to explain.
And they all are targeting food sources.
Yes.
It's not like we're suddenly seeing a bunch of explosions and stuff in metalworks factories. It's always something to do with food or a food warehouse. This is Kyle. Thanks so much for that. Feminist $12. So when does the plague of locusts come? Have to Jack. Be careful asking those kind of questions.
Yeah, they're gonna make us eat the locusts. And thank you, Kyle. Also, thank you, John. You gotta love that China's only carrier is an abandoned Russian one bought from them, confiscated by the state. They actually have a second aircraft carrier now. They built one.
They are building ships left and right.
Yeah, they're trying to get, I think, 4 aircraft carriers out, according to one of the military sites I read. But no, now we're seeing industrial fires too starting up. Right around the time of the train derailments, we started seeing other fires popping up, much like the next article is going to indicate.
Can you grab that one?
Yeah. Indiana recycling plant fire forces evacuation order for thousands as it emits toxic smoke, officials said, and it could burn for days. This article is actually from yesterday. Fire that started Tuesday afternoon at a recycling plant in the eastern Indiana city of Richmond. This is across the border from Dayton. Was emitting toxic smoke and has forced evacuation orders for about 2,000 people and is expected to burn for days. Plastics were among the items burning at the plant, and the smoke, a thick black column, rose from the site Tuesday. Is definitely toxic, Indiana State Fire Marshal Steve Jones said in a news briefing. There's a host of different chemicals that plastics give off when they're on fire, and it's concerning, and we want to make sure we give people heads up on evacuation. Adding he expects the fire to burn for days. Firefighters responded to the facility Tuesday to find a semi-trailer behind one of the plant's buildings engulfed in flames. Richmond Fire Chief Tim Brown said the trailer was loaded with an unknown type of plastics, and the fire spread to other piles of plastics around the trailer, eventually to the building. Details about what started the fire at the semi-trailer weren't immediately available. An evacuation order was put in place for residents within a half mile of the fire, but authorities could change the order if the direction of the wind shifts, Jones said. Residents outside the evacuation zone but downwind of it to the east and northeast were being encouraged to shelter in place and bring pets inside. We do not expect the evacuation order to be lifted tonight, Richmond Mayor said Tuesday. Dave Snow. That's a generic name. I think it's fake. He's witness protection.
It probably is.
A bus will remain in place if needed, and shelters are ready to accept citizens from the area. The evacuation order affected about 2,000 residents, the Wayne County Emergency Management Agency told CNN. Officials said they're waiting for on-air monitoring tests results and to help decide the duration of the evacuation orders. I saw another article. This one doesn't say it. This goes on for a little while, but you get the idea. This place had been cited before for not cleaning up. So I'd be willing to bet somebody saw that this had been cited in a newspaper or online or something and went and played a little game of arson.
With some of these factories, man, I wouldn't be surprised if a factory having fires and stuff makes sense to me.
Yeah, but a semi-trailer just catching on fire, I don't know about that. So I'm keeping an open mind. That's all I'm saying.
When I worked at at the shop, it was a machine shop. I caused several fires, Jack, just none big enough to cause massive damage. Look, one of the ways that we could tell a machine if it didn't make the noise, you listen for the noises to go bad, but it's not always that. Smell. Because they would actually start catching fire if that metal was jammed in too tight. Friction's a bitch.
Yeah. Will it affect South Bend? No, it won't.
We had several machines where, for some reason the oil got clogged up on the wrong drill and it caused a fire. That shit makes sense to me. Things happen.
Yeah.
Chickens and cows exploding doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, I'm telling you, you click on them enough times, they blow up. And cows have cow hypnosis. So I learned that from South Park. Oh, no, you're not using your cow hypnosis on me. One of Monkey's coworkers was Freddy Krueger.
Yes, actually.
No, it was worse. It was his coworker was Dunning-Kruger.
Actually, one of my coworkers, I called him the Anti-Claus because he looked like a mean Santa Claus. And unlike Freddy Krueger, he had less fingers. Daniel Perry's murder case, attorney files motion for retrial.
Yes.
On what grounds? Interesting.
Oh, this is interesting because this is a big old no-no in the world of trials.
An attorney for Sergeant Daniel Perry has filed a motion for a new trial after a jury recently found Perry guilty of murder in the death of Black Lives Matter protester Gary Foster on July 25th, 2020. The attorney alleges in court documents that key evidence was kept from jurors.
Oops.
Why does this shit keep happening?
Oh, there's more reasons too. I don't remember if it's in this article, but
it's not like prosecutions are new. Never mind.
Some people find it best not to turn over evidence they don't like.
The motion comes as Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza wrote to the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles to request an appointment to present evidence considered by the jury in Perry's murder trial. Garza also wants to, I'm thinking wants the board to hear from the victim's family. Did this idiot send stuff that he wants to send to the board that he didn't present to the defense?
It sounds like.
The request comes days after Governor Greg Abbott called on the board to pardon Perry. You can view the motion, blah, blah, blah. In a 26-page motion filed April 11th, Daniel Perry's defense team called for a new trial. This comes after a jury convicted him. Yeah, we know that. The motion details why a new trial is necessary by claiming key evidence was kept from the jury, which shows Foster and other protesters as the first aggressor. Several photos were included in the motion. The defense claimed those photos were from a month before the incident and show Foster attempting to stop cars using his girlfriend's wheelchair as other protesters swarmed the vehicle. It's absolutely what he did.
Yep.
A transcript of the interview done with Foster the day of the incident was also included. When asked if Foster thinks he'd use his rifle, he responded, nah, because he called them pussies. Yeah. We watched that video.
Yeah.
The defense claims that the evidence would have proven Foster as the intimidator. Yeah, that video absolutely should have been shown to the jury.
Yeah. It literally shows what happened.
This is Kyle. Thanks so much for that feminist $12. Were they two-headed cows? Because if Fallout 2 taught me anything, it's that two-headed cows are suicide bombers have to jack. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kyle. But there is a legend of the mono-headed Brahmin. That's a Fallout 2 reference.
The defense claims that it would. Oh, anyway. It would proven that Foster, as the intimidator, and prove these protests were not peaceful, as some testimony led the jury to believe. That's absolutely true.
Yes.
I don't know how anybody can look at what happened in these things. They swarmed the car. How do you get peaceful?
Yeah, and the guy had a rifle that he's known to have been raising at people before this.
Yeah.
So he was absolutely trying to intimidate Perry here, and it backfired on him because this dude actually had a gun and it was a good shot. Apparently, it's since come out that it's quite possible that one of the jurors had been doing research on their own too.
Ooh.
Which is a big no-no.
Oh, well, that's the next thing here.
Oh, yeah.
According to the defense, a juror revealed another juror conducted research at home during the overnight break and presented that research to the rest of the jury. That right there is mistrial.
Yeah, that you've tainted the jury that way. You're not allowed to do that as a juror. You can only go by what they give you.
Yeah, and even in some, if they did it on their own and it just came out that they'd done it on their own, you can dismiss them and have somebody else. presented it to the rest of the jury, that's a tainted jury.
Automatic mistrial in most cases. But not in this one, because they needed that win because they didn't like this guy.
It was also said that an alternate juror did not verbally participate in deliberations, but did make reaction noises expressing displeasure with certain comments made by the jury.
Oh, no, you didn't.
The defense claims this is enough for a new trial. Yeah. At the same time, the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles is looking into possible recommendations on a pardon for Daniel Perry per a request made by the governor.
At the absolute minimum, it should be a new trial.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that the prosecutor that withheld evidence should be disbarred.
I mean, when it comes to that video, that's got to be the judge not allowing it, because there's no way the defense didn't know about that video.
Yeah, it depends on how good his lawyer is.
I mean, if you're talking about the stuff that went back a month before, maybe I could see that, but there's no fucking way you didn't see that video. That was everywhere.
Yeah. If the judge didn't let that in, he should be booted off the bench too, because that absolutely showed what happened.
It showed his state of mind going into it, and that he was the aggressor. He called them pussies and said they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. Fucked around, found out. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, because he's asked, do you think you'll have to use that? And he said, nah, because with the police, I'd probably get shot immediately. And those guys who don't like us, well, they're too big of pussies to do anything. Whoops.
They found an Uber driver.
Whoopsie. You know, I've seen way too many people defending this shit. Like, no, I mean, he purposefully turned onto the road. Guy turned onto a road.
Yeah, this is an Uber driver. People turn on roads.
You're not supposed to be just wandering the streets, and it's not like they had some permit for a protest planned or anything. They just decided to go take over the street.
Yeah. There was no way he could have known there was a protest if he wasn't watching the news or the internet right then.
Frankly, all the residents of these towns where this was happening should have been given plows for the front of their cars.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jack, I know we got some more left, but I do need to wrap this up so I can go play some video games because I am tired as shit, man.
Look, can we do a feel-good story? It's kind
what
of
you
like, it's the second to last link, the one that ends in YMO.
We can do it if you read it.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. That one's not opening.
This is from the New York Post. Hidden Bible chapter rediscovered 1,750 years later with UV light.
Damn.
Let there be UV light. A hidden chapter, quotes, of biblical text that is said to date back 1,750 years has been interpreted by an Austrian scientist. Be careful with them. They're a shifty bunch. According to a study published last month in the journal New Testament Studies. Gregory Kessel, that's an awesome villain name, a medievalist from the Austrian Academy of Sciences, used ultraviolet photography to analyze the Syriac translation of the Bible's Matthew's chapter 11 and 12 underneath 3 layers of text in a manuscript. The tradition of Syriac Christianity knows several translations of the Old and New Testaments, Kessel said in a statement. Until recently, only 2 manuscripts were known to contain the Old Syriac translation of the Gospels. Parchment was hard to come by in the Middle Ages, so when manuscripts were erased, the paper was often reused. That appears to be the case for a scribe in Palestine, who reportedly erased a manuscript inscribed with the Syriac text about 1,300 years ago, according to phys.org news service. That's physics or something. The text is suspected to originate in the 3rd century before being copied in the 6th century. Researchers say scholars were already aware of the manuscript in 1953. It was rediscovered in 2010 after being digitized in 2020, before being digitized in 2020. The natural light and UV images were added to the Digital Vatican Library. Trust them. Of the 2 manuscripts...
I just laughed. Sorry.
Of the 2 manuscripts known to contain the Old Syriac translation of the Gospels, one is kept in the British Library in London, and the other in St. Catherine's Monastery in Mount Sinai, the world's oldest continually operating monastery. The third was recently identified via the Sinai pamphlet project used to use images to recover erased text from manuscripts in the St. Catherine's Library. Kessel's breakthrough is being called the fourth textual witness. Fourth textual witness. Phys.org, that's phys.org, noted that while the original Greek of Matthew chapter 12, verse 1 reads, "At that time Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his disciples became hungry and began to pick the heads of grain and eat." The newly found Syriac translation says, "began to pick the heads of grain, rub them in their hands, and eat them."
What?
So you could get the grains out of the stems.
All right. I don't know anything about how grain works.
Oh, okay. Just look that up. It's really boring.
Huh.
Claudia Rapp, the director of the Institute for Medieval Research at the Austrian Academy of Sciences, praised Kessel's findings in a statement. "Gregory Kessel has made a great discovery thanks to his profound knowledge of the old Syriac text and script characteristics," said Rapp. She continued, "This discovery proves how productive and important the interplay between modern digital technologies and basic research can be when dealing with medieval manuscripts." Now, yeah, this may seem like it's not that super important, but if they can find texts that were lost like that, imagine what other things are hidden under other manuscripts that were just forgotten about because they got erased. They weren't considered valuable. And now they can find them again using this UV photography method. I think that's really, really interesting, personally.
It really is. Haven't they done this with like paintings and stuff before too?
Yeah, they did it with like Da Vinci and something else a couple times. They keep finding like old lost masterworks that way. But it's fascinating that they could do that without damaging the current version of it. Being able to find the 3 layers of text and 2 of them have been erased. That's pretty amazing.
My question though is, I get what you're saying. It's amazing and it gives us a neat glimpse of it. But this is the stuff they were covering up for whatever reason. Typically, like with the paintings because they didn't like the original.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think it was one of those things where the scribes were like, "Yeah, I don't like this. Let's just erase it." And you reuse the paper and it will make the text a little more flowery. Or "This is worthless. Let's erase it." The Catholics were known to destroy things they didn't much care for.
True.
So they would keep some in the vaults in the Vatican, and the rest were either met with the pyre or erased. So we might be able to find some cool information from people that have long expired, cultures that are defunct that were assimilated into something else, maybe the Gauls or something. I don't know.
Sure,
but it could be pretty interesting. So I like this because we do get to see these earlier things that were lost, especially with dead languages like Syriac. Who the fuck knows how to speak that?
Right?
Nobody, because it's a dead language. White out.
For the record, I absolutely did stream yesterday, and Gray's upset with me because apparently he missed it and thinks I'm lying about the time frame. Yesterday's stream, this stream went up 21 hours ago, and my first donation, which was immediate on the game stream, was 19 hours ago. You missing something doesn't make me a liar. Please be careful with that. I don't like being called a liar, Jack. I really don't.
I know.
That bothers me. Anyhow, so we are going to wrap up there. Technology is an amazing thing, and you know what I'm looking forward to, Jack, more than things like this? The stuff that's hidden underground.
Oh, you mean like the Dulce base where the aliens live?
Well, maybe not that, but but like go back to the Tempe or however you say that.
Yeah, Göbekli Tepe and like the Aztec ruins that are still in the Amazon.
There's got to be more of that shit buried, and that's the stuff that I look forward to because that changes what we know about human history.
Yeah, more proof Graham Hancock was right.
Absolutely.
No, they did find some city in the Amazon not that long ago, a couple years back, using digital imaging from space.
Did they really?
Yeah, it was a while ago. I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
I don't remember that if we did, but it's my memory, so you know. All right, guys, we are going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. Really, really do appreciate it. Be over on twitch.tv/ranting monkey playing some Phasmo. We'll probably be doing Phasmo for the next several days because Bubba's got some extra days off.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, he didn't get fired, did he?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, not that he told me.
Oh, yeah. Don't get in trouble to play Phasmo.
Bubba, did you get fired? Anyway, over on twitch.tv/ranting monkey. Jack, anything you want to show out?
I'll drop a link or two to some awesome videos. As always, thank you guys for the donations. You guys are amazing. We really appreciate all the support you give us.
Twitch.tv/ranting monkey. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, take care of yourselves. We'll see y'all next time.
Hi, everybody.
Have a good night. Go lay down. Touch yourself if you need to, but please don't tell me about it.